Pokemon Legends ZA plot has been speculated. There's also a rumored trailer to release on June 12th, which is actually way sooner than we think. It's only a few weeks from now. And this information was shared by Ball Guy. He's also shared accurate leaked info on the past Pokemon games. Ball Guy basically claims that the game story will be divided into separate arcs that help players advance in the ZA Royale. Each arc has an event that players are tasked to investigate. There will be a tournament arc inspired by Pokemon X and Y's Battle Mason, featuring a new character that uses Mega Dragonite, as well as her buff mate, who uses Mega Drampa. These megas are a bit specific, like Mega Dragonite and Mega Drampa. I could see that there will be mates in Pokemon ZA, as the hotels look like they need cleaning and personal assistance. There could also be a Mafia arc, where players encounter the Mafia boss and his Mega Scolipede, as well as his second-in-command, or someone like cool Mafia boss like Giovanni, and they could have like Mega Scolipede and Mega Skarmory. There's also like some sort of another arc similar to Looker, as we saw his office return, and Emma character arc could also return in Pokemon X and Y, because remember Emma, she was the helper and she helped us investigate all the cases that were happening throughout Lumio City, and we also explore like the alleyways, the detectives, tourists, and even gangs. There was even vandalism in Lumio's museum. I really hope a museum returns to Pokemon ZA where we could actually go inside, and X and Y was a little bit simple and from the outside it looked pretty basic, but I feel like maybe the vandalism in Lumio's museum could also tie into how Looker and us like investigate into these cases, the Mafia bosses. Maybe they could also tie into Quasartico Inc. where they could just pair up. They do like some secret dealings here and there, like behind the scenes, like we don't know of them, but they could just doing some secret exchanges, gathering intel as they go on forward. And Team Flare supposedly now runs a food truck which is owned by Zerosic. Remember Vinny looks similar to him? Maybe he could be a relative. He was in the cafe with Looker in the X and Y game. It was like those red cafes where Lysander took over. But Looker is obviously always looking into these cases and he's confronting the trouble that Team Flare has been causing. Another rumor is that Lysander returns as the leak continues. He has a telepathic link to Zygarde, which is the 10% form that allows him to speak for the Pokemon. So maybe he could be connected to a legendary Pokemon, this whole new like plot for Lysander. There's also like a leaked text box inside Pokemon Legends ZA. There's actually a typo here with the "we are" word. There's supposed to be an apostrophe in between the "we" and the "re". It just says "were." But it says, "Fantastic, now that we're all here, I think it's time to meet your new partner Pokemon." Once again, this was leaked on 4chan, so take it with a grain of salt. This text box looks actually realistic. We see the green line over there, which obviously looks like the Pokemon ZA text box. We could tell that from what Sycamore is saying. He's gonna distribute the starter Pokemon to us. But it says new, so it's gonna be the Totodile and the other starters, not the Kalos starters, since he says the new partner Pokemon. But I feel like there's going to be a new character, a descendant of Sycamore, another person that will give us the partner Pokemon to us, rather than Sycamore, because I feel like in Legends ZA, they just want to start this new story arc to the Kalos region and not just base it off of X and Y. They don't want to really like repeat the same thing. I think they're going to put someone else rather than Sycamore to give the starter Pokemon to us. But other than that, this text box looks really realistic. Obviously this is very specific, but they said that 2-minute 55-second trailer, which is on June 12th. I mean, I thought it was going to be in May. I was really excited for it to be in May. But, I mean, judging from last week, the leaks, nothing came out last week. Like, there was no trailer. There's really no news right now. It's like a tumbleweed out here in the desert. I really think they're just building up with some hype and anticipation that something really huge is going to come up in June. Obviously with the Switch 2 as well, because Switch 2 is coming out. So, they want to do it around that time, since people are getting more hype and looking into what games to buy. The trailer, they speculated for it to be inside of Quasartico Inc. Like, yeah, we didn't really see anything inside the Quasartico Inc. before. When we went inside the building, we don't really know what it is. I just really want to see more of what's inside of it. Like, it's gonna be so cool. Like, imagine if there's like Pokemon experimentations or things that they're doing inside. And there's also more of Hotel Z. Maybe there could be trainer battles in there where we complete specific quests. We show off Sycamore returning, which is looking older though. Obviously, he must have aged, right? If we're going with our mom and X and Y and having all these children from ZA, so obviously he must look older. And he's talking to Tawny or Urbane with AZ and his Floette. I could see Sycamore and Tawny and AZ, like they're all coming together. Something interesting that the person mentioned here is that we could pet the Pokemon and give it muffins, which is actually very similar to Pokemon Refresh where we had Pokebeans, like X and Y, Sun and Moon. I really want to see that mechanic returning. With a Nintendo Switch or the Nintendo Switch 2, who knows? They could have way more advanced stuff rather than just petting your Pokemon like side to side, just touching it with a pen. Maybe they could just add in more cooler stuff, like more interactive. If you use your Joy-Con and then move it, maybe the Pokemon could also interact with you. But I'm really excited if the Mega Kalos starters really do get released inside this trailer. We've been anticipating the Mega Evolutions for the starter Pokemon from X and Y for so long. Really want to see Mega Greninja, Chestnut, and that Delphox. Hopefully there will be new Mega Evolutions, Mega Flygon. If the trailer comes as well, I also want more customization options shown. I hope you could get to change the hairstyles and the clothing. Stay tuned for more updates as they come. Subscribe and turn on notifications, and peace!